Now we should discuss the inner posture. We just discussed the external or outer posture of sitting in a chair or on a cushion. This is about something different. Now, there are two aspects to the inner posture that we'll discuss for this program. The first is the use of the blindfold. So you don't have to have a nice blindfold like this. You could use a handkerchief or a t-shirt or a scarf, anything that covers your eyes to help you have a dark environment. So your room doesn't have to be pitch black or anything like that. But closing the eyes, sometimes there's still a lot of brightness there, and then we tend to blink. With certain blindfolds, you can open your eyes behind the blindfold and it'll still be dark. And that's why I like those kinds of blindfolds. So I could blink if I need to, and it'll still be dark. The purpose of this is it helps us become interiorized. It helps us move our attention from the outside world to the inner world. We start to experience more of what's going inside in terms of our emotions, our thoughts, our daydreams, physical sensations and energetic sensations in the body. All of those become brighter or more obvious in the darkness. Yogis in different traditions have done retreats in complete darkness for weeks, months, and even years. And so they know about the advantage of using the dark. So I'm sharing that information with you. About 95% of the meditations of this program are done with a blindfold. I'll start each instruction with, okay, now grab your blindfold, just as a reminder. So you want to have something to cover your eyes to help draw yourself inward a lot quicker than would happen if you just had your eyes closed or you had your eyes open. But light coming in with your eyes closed is still sort of a distraction. The other aspect of the inner posture is when we're going about our day, especially when we're talking to other people. You might not notice this, but if you pay attention next time you go out into the world, notice where your sense of self is positioned in your body. For most of us, it's right here in our face, in the front, or right behind the eyes. And it's really toward the surface of the face or the skull, right here in front. That's how we are when we're engaging the outer world. In meditation, what can be difficult for beginners is that even though they're wearing a blindfold or their eyes are closed or they're following the breathing, still their presentation or their focus is still very close to the face, right up here on the surface, as if they're trying to engage the outer world, which is difficult to do. So one thing you'll want to do is adjust your inner posture every time you meditate. So no matter which of the techniques you're working on in this program, you want to have this attitude of, once you take your sitting posture, even while you're listening to me giving you instructions, let your attention drift backward in the body. And this can take practice. It's not instantaneous, but it's the experience of noticing, oh, I'm right up here. I need to come back. You might feel, just with your attention, feel the back of your skull from the inside. Pay attention to your neck and then your spine. And you can try and just feel your spine and your torso and put your attention that far back in the body. Because the further back you are, the less engaged you are in a habitual way with the world. We're habituated to be on alert to the outside world. We're hunting, or we're defending, we're reaching, we want something, or we're trying to get away from something. All of that happens more when we are up front in our body. So in meditation, we want our attention to move backward toward the back of the head on the inside, toward the spine and the neck and in the torso, even down in the pelvic region, keeping our attention toward the back. It's difficult to describe with words, but now that I've said this to you, you can experiment. You might even spend some time after watching this video, take a sitting meditation posture in a chair or on a cushion, doesn't matter, and see what it's like to feel your attention up in the surface of your face, like we are habitually used to every day, and then pulling it back. What's it like to feel the inside of the back of the skull? What's it like to feel the vertebrae of your spine, to have your attention that far back in the body? What's that like? And you might notice that you naturally become more inward or inwardly focused when you do that. And over time, it'll become automatic that every time you meditate, you play the next video in the series, first thing you do is you sit down, you put on your blindfold, and your attention moves backward in the body. So that is the internal posture that you want to work on for any of the meditations you do in this practice. Perhaps not for the ones you do lying down, but most of the ones are done sitting up anyway. So you want to work on that over time. And of course, if it doesn't happen quickly, that's perfectly fine. Everything you're going to learn in this program takes time and repeated practice for you to develop a good relationship with it.